Bill Belichick admits in his new book, The Art of Winning, that not picking Lamar Jackson in the 2018 NFL draft was a mistake. To that I say, no Shaq, Sherlock. They instead selected Sony Michel with pick 31. Jackson went 32nd overall. Look, I remember back in this day, 2018, I was in D.C. covering the Washington football franchise, and I remember thinking, boy, because the rumors were the Patriots really liked Lamar Jackson. And I remember thinking, oh, my God, if they get him, here we go again. They go from Brady to this guy.
Right. And
they didn't take him. And I kind of remember breathing a sigh of relief at that time, like, oh, all right, we don't have another Patriot dynasty. But then he went to the Ravens, and I thought, oh, God, they got him? So, look, Belichick admitting this is not shocking to me at all. It was something at the time that I thought the Patriots should do, and I wasn't even here. So I can only imagine what Patriots fans were feeling at that time. And although I am a Lamar fan, was in college at Louisville, I didn't see this coming, what he has become now.
Right.
But I knew there were all kinds of nonsense things back at that time, like, oh, is he a running back? Is he a slash? Is he a wide receiver? Is he a kick returner? No, moron. I knew back then this guy's going to be a quarterback, and I thought it would translate. I thought he would be a good, serviceable NFL quarterback. What I didn't see is an absolute superstar. So I'm guessing here that Belichick maybe missed on what this guy could have become, and he probably thought the same thing as me. He's decent. We could use him, but we're not going to build an offense around that. We're going to go in a different direction.
That's what it is. Stick a pin in it.
Right.
Like, you could say, oh, not picking him up and da-da-da-da, but, like, systematically, I don't see the fit. And then you're talking about now having to purposely build a team around Lamar, where
right.
They still had pieces at that time, contract-wise, timing-wise. Like, you would have been moaning and groaning about this guy for at least the next 3 years before trying to properly build around his skill set and what he can do. And yeah, there was a lot of him and haw about, like, is he a running back? Is he a quarterback? He didn't fit the Patriots style. So the purpose of even talking about it just kind of like threw me.
Yeah, but I'll say this. He works with the Ravens because of what John Harbaugh values, which is really good defense, strong run game, don't beat yourself. The devil's in the deets, right? I mean, that's Belichick's formula too.
True.
So, some of me thinks like, yeah.
But the pieces there versus the pieces here
right.
At that time. It's just like.
And not only at that time, but I think the Ravens, at the buzzer, I think the Ravens did a really good job. Where they went next level was, yes, they had the pieces at the time that were maybe a better fit for Lamar. But then they kept building around him.
Yes.
And that's the key.
Where, like, when you look at the second and third strings for the Patriots and the way that they move on from quarterbacks, that would have been so dramatic to have Lamar in New England.
That's right. Although, you just never know, Case. Because think about all the years with Brady. Brady was the ultimate Band-Aid on a lot of wounds. So if you get a guy like Lamar,
I think he's a different kind of Band-Aid.
I
think he's liquid stitches versus like.
Welcome to ER. Kasey Hudson and Travis Thomas.
That's what happens when you come from a family, half medical, half finance, and here I am sprouting out like sports broadcasting. Liquid stitches versus a Band-Aid.
Speaking of medical, Stefon Diggs looks good post ACL injury in these workout videos. So we're looking at the videos here for our listening audience. Let me just tell you what's going on. Stefon Diggs is doing a bunch of drills in shorts and a T-shirt with no defense and no
contact.
Yeah, no one there to stop him at all. And he looks great.
No moving bodies.
So his ACL looks to be fully healed for week 1, allegedly. I mean, look.
Those
again,
feet are just shuffling, though.
Right. In all seriousness, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on Boston has entered the chat. But I feel like it's easy to look good in these. Like,
are you not? We haven't had a chance to talk about this, but you don't seem like a fan of you're not digging.
I'm not digging it. I just think, I don't know. I think if you let me put it this way. If you draft Travis Hunter and you tell him you're playing wide receiver and you have a Stefon Diggs, I'm with it. If you don't get a Travis Hunter and Stefon Diggs is your guy, I have a problem with that. And I don't. He was paid. By the way, he was paid like a number one. He was paid like they ain't drafting Travis Hunter. It's gonna be Stefon Diggs' team. But I'm not buying it. I think
I buy.
You are buying.
I buy. I'm buying.
So you watch that video and you get hype. You're like, oh, he looks good. We're ready.
I watch that video and I get slightly hype. I'm not one to jump the gun on things. I get slightly hype because it lines up with what he said in his press conference. He is ahead of progress.
Yeah.
He feels good. Workouts are going well. The reporters that we interviewed from the Texans said the same thing, ahead of progress, so and so. And you're talking about a player that doesn't have an injury-ridden background. So it's not like, oh, here we go again. Then I look at the fact that he's not particularly in a high contact position, such as a running back. I used Adrian Peterson in his resume as an example beforehand. Torn ACL, torn this, comes back and has this like remarkable season. So the possibility is there for him to come into this and matter. The point that he needs to prove in terms of age, peak, all these things. This is a guy who thrives off of confidence, having a chip on his shoulder. So there's a level of motivators on top of his healing process that makes me think this is going to be just fine. And he chose to come to a team in a rebuild, knowing that he could have gone elsewhere. Yeah, money talks, but I mean, the Chargers could have been a fit for him. And you're talking about a postseason team now.
Yeah.
So I just consider the mental factors, I consider the character factors, and I consider the fact that it's all adding up that he is well on progress to help.
So you see this working with him, being a true number one. Over 1,000 yards receiving.
True
kinda
number
looking
one,
up
I'm not going to like go
Well, he
all
was
the way
paid
in
like it.
there.
I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. Is I just don't believe a player who was already declining in recent years, dealing with injuries in recent years, has a
Declining
diva
or
past.
team, I don't know if I would call it declining.
Well, the Bills, listen, all I needed to know was you have Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs, one of the more lethal combos in the league. And that kind of ran its course. And the Bills got sick of him enough to be like, yeah, we're done with you. Then he goes to Houston, which is a young, impressionable team, much like the Patriots. C.J. Stroud, young up-and-comer, much like Drake May. Now, he didn't play terrible. He did get hurt, but it didn't work. So I'm like,
What didn't work, though?
He got hurt, but I would say this. Here's why I don't think it worked. I actually thought along the way it was the best move for him to go back to Houston. Rehab there, continue to grow with those young wide receivers and C.J. Stroud. And you have a better chance to win in Houston than New England. And he didn't do that. And he got paid with New England, which tells me everything I need to know.
So you feel like he was just money-driven versus actually being
I do.
helpful?
I think now that he hasn't worked with two really high-end quarterbacks in this league, in Josh Allen and C.J. Stroud, I'm just not buying it. And then coming off this injury, you look good on a ladder, bro. But let's see you when someone's lined up on the opposite side of you.